I have started Giovanni's Room and I cannot get enough of it. I'm Quinn Moone, I write queer fairy tales, and I've started Giovanni's Room. Giovanni's Room is amazing. I am loving it so much. I started it last night and I've just been devouring it. In this book, we follow the tragic love affair between David and Giovanni in 1950s Paris. I have only just started it, and honestly, I can't get enough. I am reading this so quickly. I don't even want to slow down to annotate it. I'm just like highlighting like, oh my God, this line. Oh my God, this line. This is so good. This is so sad. The emotions that David has, the emotions that James Baldwin gives his characters is so realistic. I feel the shame. I feel the guilt. The way that they handle their first encounter, the way David handles that first night, that only night with Joey, the way that he's afraid to even make eye contact with Giovanni, the way that he's afraid for everyone to know is so real and so poignant. The hatred that he treats everyone with is so telling of the hatred that he feels for himself, for that part of himself. It's the self-loathing that just corrupts you from the inside out. There's so much here. Hold up, what'd I say? The disgust and the overt hatred he displays to everyone around him that's queer, to everybody that isn't afraid to be a peacock, to wear flamboyant colors, to be a princess, to be a queen, to be a beautiful, confident femme, like everything. The hatred that he must put out there to cover his own self-loathing, and his own self-loathing probably in his inability to be true to himself out of fear, to be so afraid, to put out hatred out of fear for himself and what it will reveal about himself is so heartbreaking. I am reading this and I'm just like, damn it. I'm just reading this and I want to tell David that it eventually gets better. Not in your lifetime and not your generation, and it's going to take many years, but it will eventually get better. But it doesn't help the situation then. And it's so sad to see him just hiding his truth, to see him having to manipulate everyone at every turn because of the hatred and the fear of being found out, the hatred for himself for being like this, the hatred towards everyone around him that has the courage to try to find some happiness in their limited world. I just can't. And the first conversation with Giovanni, the smile, Giovanni smiles when David talks to him. I'm stunned. I am loving this book. Where have I been? Where have I been? Why haven't I read this? This book is amazing. I don't know why nobody told me to pick this up sooner. It's so freaking good. I can't get enough of it. My biggest concern right now is that I'm gonna ignore everything else I should be reading and just finish this because of how phenomenal it is. If you haven't read James Baldwin's Giovanni's Room, please read it. Read Giovanni's Room. It's so good. And I'm not even done yet. Hold up, let me read the first line. I stand at the window of this great house in the south of France as night falls. The night which is leading me to the most terrible morning of my life. What a wallop of a start. It's beautiful. The hatred that is put out by David is so tragic. I am angry that he has had to be so angry to protect himself, that he hasn't had the support, that he never will. But I understand why it is the way that it is. And it doesn't make the reading any easier. It makes it that much sadder because people reacted so terrified of a part of themselves that was deemed broken, that was deemed wrong, evil, sick, a disease. And this really falls in line with every gay story must have a tragic ending because society has dictated it to be so. I'm loving it. I'm probably just gonna read through it and then update at the end. If not, I'll update maybe when I read another third. It's not very long. There is an introduction and this book is 169 pages, y'all. I love it. I am loving it. It's beautiful, it's tragic, but it's magical. Meeting Giovanni as David, I immediately fell in love. I immediately was captivated with his smile. I can feel the glow of Giovanni's smile on David through the book. I can hear the laugh that captivates David, that just endears him. I can see the wink that David tried to like avoid that makes him blush. I can see him like angry with himself because he couldn't fight the blush. I can see him just slipping under the spell of Giovanni. And Giovanni just blissfully living beautifully and happy and knowing that it's not gonna be for long. I love this book. I will check in. Hopefully after I read another third, if not for sure at the end, because I will probably just be sobbing. I'm not okay. I'm not okay. I'm not okay. And I don't know if I will ever be okay because I know how this book ends. I am so angry. I am so angry. It's way too late for this nonsense right now. I'm like 30 pages from the end and I'm not okay. And I'm angry at David and I'm sad for Giovanni. I'm angry at the circumstances. I am reading some of the most painful pages I have ever read. And I read some pretty sad shit, right? Like this is common. I read sad shit all the time. And this is still some of the most painful pages because I hear Giovanni pleading. I hear Giovanni wishing he could reach out and touch him the way Hella does. I see Hella realizing what's happening. And it's not fair to her. And it's not fair that she feels shackled to this guy that will never love her. And it's not fair that the circumstances that force them to put up this charade, none of this is fair. Under normal circumstances, it's heartbreaking. Seeing Giovanni, who wants to please, who shone with just so much happiness and joy, and his smile just lit up a room, and he was the light of every event, of every place he walked into. He was the beauty, he was what everybody longed for. To see him afraid and sad, betrayed, especially knowing that David in his up way did love Giovanni. David loved Giovanni. David did, in his own weird way, and it's not okay. It's toxic because he's obsessed with this masculinity that doesn't matter because he's obsessed with not being immoral and wrong. And Giovanni is just desperate to hold on to him, and Giovanni just wants to will them to have a life. And then when Giovanni meets Hella, I don't blame either of them. And honestly, like Jacques is right. Like, you man for disappearing, for leaving him behind. I'm on Jacques' side. I wouldn't be kind to the asshole. Like, I wouldn't. But Giovanni didn't deserve this. Giovanni didn't deserve to be humiliated by Guillaume, whoever his boss is. Giovanni didn't deserve to be abandoned by David. Giovanni didn't deserve to fall in love with this whole American and to be left behind and abandoned. David, you're not the first one to have a mistress. You're not the first one to have a wife. You're not the first one that got into this marriage because you were told to, because that's what you're supposed to be doing. You're not the first one, and you're not the last, especially not in the 50s. I'm just so not okay. I don't know why I kept reading this late. Like, I shouldn't have. I am 30 pages from the end. I know how it ends. It's the painful Giovanni trying not to cry. It's him trying not to show the tears. It's him trying not to have a breakdown in front of David, trying to keep up this weird appearance in front of Hella, even though she knows something is up. Hella's not stupid. It's not everybody meeting. It's that Giovanni wanted it to be differently. It's that Giovanni wished that he could have been loved. Because that's all he wants. He wants to be loved. He wants someone to tell him that he's enough. He wants to please. Giovanni that hid behind bravado. Giovanni that hid behind his beauty, that hid behind his smile. The only thing he had that couldn't be taken away, his beauty that still hadn't left him. The way I'm sure he's terrified that it will one day. The way he accepts that it probably will. Giovanni that just wants to believe that David loved him. And Giovanni that has to stand there and try not to have a meltdown, that has to stand there and try not to cry because his lover abandoned him, because what they had just suddenly just was meaningless because it didn't fit in the social norm. I'm not okay. I'm so not okay. I have never wanted to stop annotation the way I want to stop here. I want to witness Giovanni's heartbreak, his life falling apart. I want to be angry with him at David. I want to sympathize with Giovanni. I want to hold him and tell him that he's not worth it. But is he? Because David loves him in his own sick way. I am so not okay. I love Giovanni. The moment I met him, I fell in love with him. The way David did, the way everybody that sees Giovanni falls in love with him. And I knew that it wasn't gonna end well. I knew from the beginning it wasn't ending well. But it's the realism of finding the person that you wanted to love and be loved by, and seeing that the spot next to them that you wished and hoped and tried to will to be yours is not yours, was never yours, and could never have been yours. In trying to save face, try not to cry. I am trying not to cry. I'm so angry. I am so angry. I'm so angry. I'm so sad. This is exactly what I needed, but I wasn't ready for how much this book consumed me. I'm 30 pages from the end. I'm 30 pages from the end. And I'm not finishing it tonight because I'll get sleep. And if I finish it tonight, I'm just gonna sit here and just gay wail, and that's just not happening. I have to work tomorrow. I'm so angry. I'm so sad. I'm so sad for Giovanni. And at every turn, I want to change the story. I want to see how it could have been fine, how it could have worked out, how they didn't have to end up like Jacques and Guillaume. They didn't have to end up like any of them. They could have ended up. They could have ended up like the Monda brothers. They could have, if they hadn't been afraid. If they hadn't been afraid of the love. If Giovanni's love had been enough, and if David had been secure. If David hadn't questioned his manhood. If his masculinity wasn't at risk, which does that even mean? I'm not okay. What does that even mean? I'm so not okay. This is such a painful discussion. And yeah, fuck David. No, Jock's not gonna be nice to you. You don't deserve it. You weren't nice to him. You definitely weren't nice to Giovanni. Walking out. Fuck all that. I'm so not okay. I'm so angry. I can't remember the last time I was this angry at a book. Especially because I knew how it ended. I knew how it ended. It's the painful conversation of Giovanni trying not to cry. Of Giovanni trying not to be defeated the way that he's been defeated at every turn, disposed, abandoned. Like, what does manhood even mean, y'all? That. Fuck all that toxicity. And I rewrote the letter. in the margins. Dear Dad, I found a girl and I want to marry her. Actually, it's a boy. And I can't marry him. But if I could, I would. David could never write that. Because he's not secure. Because he has issues. Because he's insecure and thinks that his masculinity is at risk. It's only at risk if you make it so, David. This need for external validation that manifests itself in Giovanni wanting to be loved, that hides behind Giovanni's bravado, that hides behind Giovanni's beauty and his charisma, is the same insecurity and external validation that's needed, that David needs, that hurts everyone around him. Would it have been better to just cut his dad out and live his life the way he wants? Would he have hurt one less person? 2, 3 less people? He wouldn't have hurt his dad. He would have hurt his dad. I'm sorry, I'm disowning him. He would not have hurt Hela. He would not have lied to her. As Hela comes to terms in Spain that she's gonna be this unwanted accessory to this man that she is chained to now, and that won't respect her. That's one less person that he's gonna hurt. He wouldn't hurt Giovanni. I don't know if he would have hurt Jacques. I think he would have still hurt Jacques because he would still be angry and have issues. But maybe he would have been kinder the way Jacques asked, like, can you be my friend? But David is too self-righteous and had his head up his ass and he can't? This book. Oh my God. Okay, I'm just gonna sit here and just cry, I guess. I'm not okay. I have not had a book get to me like this. Like, Run Away With Me got to me, but it got to me in like a tender way. And like, this isn't tender. This is tragic. And this is like the tragedy that I saw, right? I mean, sad gay summer, right? Why did it have to hurt so much? Giovanni just trying not to cry? I can't. Like, I'm crying for him because he can't. And like, my book talk's gonna be way more philosophical and it's gonna talk about the themes, and I have so many questions about this book. But right now, I'm sad. I just wanna cry. And it's the middle of the night. I should be asleep. I should have been asleep 3 hours ago. And I'm just so sad. And I'm so angry. I'm so angry. This is such a great book. I'm just so sad. I'll update when I'm done, which won't be tonight because I have sleep. It'll be tomorrow. I'm so sad. I'm gonna reread these pages over and over and over again until I come to terms with them. Giovanni never had that. Giovanni never had that time. He never had the time to process that. I have to process it, and I'm rereading those pages. Giovanni had to sit there and have his love just thrown in his face and discarded in front of him. I'm not okay. I'm so not okay. I'm gonna go to bed and finish the book tomorrow and probably just bawl. I can't. I'm just gonna go cry now. Okay, I'm gonna go cry now. I just finished Giovanni's Room like 5 minutes ago. First of all, it's really late. It's like way past my bedtime, but I had to finish this book. And it was so... I'm past angry at David. I'm not angry at David right now. I'm angry at the circumstances that created someone like David, so many people like David, that created a world in which David had to be David, that created a world that hurt Hella, that created a world that hurt Giovanni. I see the commentary, I see the themes, I see that this isn't about David being gay, David being bi, David being anything. This is less about David and more about the self-loathing internalized within David that hurts so many people. And like, my eyes are swollen. I'm so tired. I've been like crying and stuff. Like, this isn't about David being gay or bi, or Giovanni being gay or bi, or Hella being gay or bi, because I think Hella desperately is also running away from her own demons. I feel like Hella is trying to fight her own bisexuality, her own queerness, her own gayness. Like, Hella just wants to be a woman. It's a complicated enough, dirty, wretched affair as it is. All she wants is to be a woman. And David can't give her that. She's just looking for a man that's willing to be whatever crappy role he's given so that she can play her crummy role to his crappy man. And they can just try to find a semblance of normality. Because Hella is like, neither of us want this. Neither of us are happy. We're both doing this because it's expected of us. And I see that this is a reflection of a crooked, messed up world that creates these circumstances that hurts so many people that don't need to be hurt. Nobody needed to have been hurt here. Nobody needed to die. David didn't need to feel his entire life just spiraling as he ran away from his own sexuality, which he didn't even have the ability to try to name because he couldn't explore it, because he couldn't talk about it or think about it because it was emasculating. And the biggest irony of it all, the worst irony, the worst, David's pursuit of manhood, David's obsession with not being a woman, David's obsession with being a man, David's obsession with embodying the masculinity that he is just horrifically afraid of losing. His manhood is at the end compromised by himself because he doesn't have the courage to face Hella and tell her this is what's happening. And Hella's like, you were supposed to be the man. You were supposed to speak first. Women are always waiting for men to speak. Why didn't you know that? Why weren't you the man and told me this? She's like, I deserved to know from you. It's just the most tragic irony that at the end of it all, David's obsessive pursuit of manhood is compromised with a woman. It's compromised when she calls him out on him not stepping up and owning things, not leading the way the man is supposed to. She's like, women are supposed to be led. She's like, I'll be led. But where the hell have you been? If you're not leading, who the hell is leading if I'm not supposed to lead? It is just the worst irony because of what happened to Giovanni. Because there's no going back. There is no going back for Giovanni. There's no possibility that this could have been different for Giovanni. He's gone. Like, David gets to go be miserable the rest of his wretched life. Hella has to go figure out a way to heal from this pain, from this sadness. But Giovanni has no alternative. Giovanni's ended. That's it for Giovanni. Like, there's nothing else. And his obsession with I'm not the woman, Giovanni don't make me a woman, and Giovanni's just like, I love you as a man. If I wanted a woman, I would go get a woman. It never occurred to David that he was equal to Giovanni, that Giovanni didn't see himself as superior, didn't see David as superior. They were equals in Giovanni's eyes. And David's obsession with being superior to these dirty gay people, and that he was a man and that he wasn't like them, just at the end just fell apart because he couldn't own up to Hela and he couldn't play the role that he was. Maybe that's why he was so afraid, because he knew deep down he couldn't fulfill this role, because he couldn't lead himself out of this dark place, because he couldn't confront it, he couldn't identify it, he could not come to terms with it and address it and confront it like a man was supposed to do. Maybe that's ultimately why he's chasing manhood. It's too late for this much philosophizing. I am gonna go to bed, gather my thoughts, try not to cry. My eyes are so swollen. Oh my God. I'm so tired. I'm so heartbroken. This book was amazing. I'll continue to reflect on this once I've slept and had some time to get my thoughts together. It's been a minute since I finished Giovanni's Room. I never really wrapped up the blog. Probably because of just the emotional turmoil that I was legitimately in. I can't put into words how amazing this book was. I cannot put into words how angry I am at myself for taking so damn long to get to this book. Then again, I don't know if I would have had the, proper literary capacity to appreciate it the way that I did. And I'm glad that I took a break between the end of the book and this vlog, because otherwise I would still just be sobbing. I couldn't stop reading. I hated that I slowed down to annotate it. I needed to just keep reading, but I slowed down to have that conversation with the text. Giovanni is probably one of the most beautiful characters that I've ever read. Giovanni is introduced when he's smiling, when he beams, when he is just being his charismatic, enigmatic, gorgeous self at the bar, and he looks at David for the first time and smiles. I felt like I was reading the sun. It was the most beautiful introduction, and the entire time I'm reading the first scene, when Giovanni says, "Didn't you offer to buy me a drink?" When Giovanni talks about himself, when Giovanni asks about David, I hear him in his Italian accent. When he is just being his just beautiful, carefree. He was carefree at the time because nothing was holding him down, nothing. He had his problems, he had his loneliness and his depression, and he was afraid of being alone. But there was nobody else there to make it worse. He had his problems, he knew he had his problems. There was nobody there to make it worse. So he was able to give off that fake, fabricated joy, because that's all he could do, was be happy and externalize that he's fine. But really he hasn't lost anything yet. He hasn't loved anything to lose it yet. So the entire time I'm reading this scene, I feel like I'm being blinded by the light of his face. I have never ever read a character that they turn to look in the book and I feel like they're glowing. I felt the glow and the warmth just coming off the page. It was so beautiful. James Baldwin writes Giovanni's beauty so wonderfully, so beautifully. Like, I believe he's gorgeous and I love it. And when David, I know David's trouble. I know David's a problem. And when all of this starts happening, I know how it ends. And I know that David is the reason everybody goes sideways. I'm sad to see that Giovanni tried to hope that it could be different. And the journey seeing this perfect beautiful Italian, what they call Genji, this like Italian radiant prince. That's exactly what Genji is. Oh my god, that's exactly what Giovanni is. Like, you know how, like, you don't know. But in Genji, when like he turns, everyone's like, it's like staring at the sun. He's the radiant prince. That's Giovanni. He is the radiant prince of Italy. In Paris. Seeing Giovanni at the end just accept, have that last fight, realize that he's lost. If David had any sense of decency, which he doesn't, because he couldn't nurture that part of him without being afraid that it's emasculating, because he couldn't nurture that part of him, because then it would have meant that he had to be kind to the boys that he could have possibly fallen in love with, and he just couldn't afford that because of the crooked place that he was raised, because 50s America is crap and crummy, isn't supportive of the others, still not supportive of the others. I am angry at the world that created someone like David that hurt so many people like Hella and Giovanni. Because Hella didn't deserve that either. Giovanni didn't deserve it. Giovanni sure as hell did not deserve it. Hella did not either. She didn't ask for this. She asked to let someone play her role because she's accepted she has to play it and just keep up facades, and David couldn't. I'm just gonna keep ranting about how amazing this book was. This is me off the book, what, like a week or two? Imagine coming off it. I was raving. I was just crying, as like this video is gonna show. Like I was just sitting there silently crying to myself, just angry at the situation, at the circumstances, at the audacity to hurt Giovanni, to hurt Hella, for David not to be able to be a man and step up. Like, come on. You want to be a man? Go be a man, dude. Like, really. Because everybody's being more masculine than he is. Giovanni's being a man. Jacques is being a man. Hella's being a man. And this guy's like running away because, God forbid, he look at himself in the face. I had so many strong feelings. This book's amazing. I better be the last one to the party. I better be the last one to the party. And everybody should have read this. Everybody needs to read this book. If you want gay lit, this is the gold standard for a reason. Giovanni's Room by James Baldwin. It's gorgeous. It's amazing. I can't believe this was published in 1956. Ugh. Please read it. Please read it. It's so gorgeous. It's beautiful. It's heartbreaking. And when Giovanni realizes he's been nothing the whole time, no. When Giovanni realizes that David has been forcing himself to believe that Giovanni is nothing, because Giovanni straight up tells him, you're not leaving me for Hella. If you loved her, you wouldn't be hurting me this way. You're leaving me because you can't accept yourself or what you feel for me. And when Giovanni accepts that he had been nothing the whole time because David forced himself to see Giovanni as nothing, to make Giovanni feel like he is nothing, and the pain of, I was accepting being nothing. I didn't ask for anything. Giovanni's acceptance of being nothing for the sake of being with David, knowing that David cared about him in some capacity, knowing that David loved him, even though he couldn't allow himself to. And Giovanni saying, I'll take whatever you can give me. Anybody that has been in a relationship that you take whatever they can give you and you get the leftovers, because that's all they're willing to give you, they can give you, that's all that you're worth. And Giovanni accepting it and still ending up the way that he did. I was furious that Giovanni got the leftovers. He should have been the first place to David because he felt that. Hella got screwed too. Like, Hella lost so much time with this jerk. Hella also got leftovers. Nobody got any part of David because David could only give it to a certain person, and that was not allowed. He didn't allow that to himself because the world didn't allow him to. This book was amazing. Please read it. Please read it and talk to me about it. Please. This book was amazing. I should be the last one to the party. Let me know what you thought. I'm glad I wrapped up this vlog. I'm glad it took me a minute because otherwise I'd be sobbing right now. It was just not a pretty situation. I'll catch you guys next time. Bye!